today I want to do something a little bit different and I want to try a whole new medium. Well, sort of anyway. On the weekend I finally bought some gouache or gouache. I still haven't completely settled on what to call it, as every second video pronounces it a different way. So I'll probably end up interchanging throughout this whole video, so I hope that doesn't annoy you. But anyway, I bought some. I've been wanting to give it a go for so long now because I just love how vivid and opaque the colours are, and so I just needed to give it a go myself. And it was my birthday not long ago, so I thought I'd treat myself finally to a set of gouache paints. I didn't want to go all out and get like a huge palette because I wasn't sure whether I'd enjoy it or not, so I just stuck to the basic primary colours, black, white and a yellow ochre. That's what the set came with. So now I want to have a proper paint of it. I've been waiting so long, so let's go and give the gouaches a try. Gouaches? Gouaches? Paints? I don't know what they are. So as a side note, and a very important one, I have less than 24 hours experience with using these paints. I was intending for this video to be the first ever time that I use the paints, but I got too excited yesterday and so I did some swatches and just like a bit of testing basically on how they work, but I haven't painted anything proper, so this will be the day. I'm hoping it doesn't completely fail, but if it does, then that will make a more entertaining video, won't it? So I just wanted to give a caveat there, because by no means is this an instructional video, but none of my videos are, so I don't know why I need to tell you that. So I wanted to test these paints out on quite a basic sort of picture, and you'll probably see better when I actually turn the camera around, but it's meant to be just like a little house, a little morning scene. There's like a bird twittering on the top of the roof, and a little coffee cup on the windowsill. Very basic. It's an idea that I came up with the other day, just as sort of like a print idea. It's just called Slow Mornings, and I was going to turn it either into a print or into a bookmark or something. I haven't quite decided yet, but that's basically the idea behind this picture. So I've just sort of tried to sketch that onto a larger size paper. I'm using my usual Winslow watercolor paper because apparently that's fine for gouache, but I'm not using my usual watercolor paintbrushes because I heard that gouache can damage them over time, and I don't want to damage the Winsor & Newton ones because they're quite expensive and I don't want to have to go buy more brushes. So I do have some old Montmar brushes here, were originally my watercolor brushes. I do use them still occasionally, but not very often. So I feel like it's okay if I use them for gouache. I don't know if you've ever had experience with using gouache before, but when you go from watercolor to gouache, it's just so, the texture is so different. It's what I imagine painting with acrylic is. I've never done that before, but it's just very thick and creamy. A little goes a long, long way. I'm not used to working with such opaque things that just go on so darkly and really don't require that much pigment in them to just really stand out from the page, if that makes sense. I was wanting this to be a bit more pinker than what it is. It's very muddy compared to what I wanted it to be. I sort of, like, that is the colour that I was working from and that looks quite pink, but then this has come out quite, I don't know, a lot more brown. But anyway, we will keep going on with it. The good thing about gouache as well is that I can layer lights over darks, whereas you just can't do that with watercolour. So I may be able to save this. We'll see. Okay, so this couldn't be further from what I wanted it to turn out. It is so bad. It is terribly bad. And I'm honestly thinking of scrapping this painting and trying to draw it again and have another go at it, because I think I just went too thickly, too quickly, and the result is just mucky. It's dirty, it's terrible. So I'm gonna re-sketch it and have another go, and this time take my time. I just got too excited and yeah, it just got too messy. So the drawing is a whole lot smaller than the original. It's about, I don't know, a third of the size, but I thought that would be just good to go for a small drawing because maybe the size of the picture overwhelmed me at the start. So we're going to try lighter colours and just take our time. And hopefully it won't turn out like that monstrosity there. So already I'm trying to treat it a lot more like watercolour than what I was before. I think before I was just trying to be very quick and just apply it straight away like I've seen on a lot of videos, but because I'm coming to this new medium as a complete beginner, I've got to remember that I am a complete beginner and I can't just treat it how I treated watercolour. Whereas I feel very confident with watercolour now, and I feel like I can usually achieve what I want to within reason. So I'm just going to have to remind myself that this is a beginning thing again. I feel like the good thing about this gouache as well so far is that I can really play with the colours while it's on the paper and still wet. So I can sort of mix like a few colours in there and stir it all up and make it just, I don't know, a bit more textured looking than what I usually do with watercolour. So this is how we're looking at the moment. It's sort of reminding me of the house from The Simpsons, but at least it's not like that. Dun dun dun. I'm trying to just be a lot more slower with the colours. I did a bit of shading for that side of the house, and I've just sort of painted all the trees the same green, but I'm hoping that with a bit of detail they'll sort of come out and look unique and different. There's still a bit to go and it's looking very basic, but I guess it's not a bad try for gouache for the first time. I need a lot of practice. So today I learned that I don't know how to use gouache. I don't know why my nose looks so red. I'm very pimply at the moment, I apologise. It's definitely going to take a lot more getting used to than what I thought originally, which shouldn't be a surprise, but you know how you always start out with an artwork expecting it to be like the best thing ever and it quickly goes downhill. That was me today. But I am happy to have gouache added to my collection of things that I can use, because even if I never get used to using it by itself, I do know that I can definitely rely on the black and the white to sort of enhance my watercolours, because using them could definitely bring out a lot more detail in watercolour. So it's not a complete loss, but I am going to keep trying and practicing with this gouache and seeing if I could get it just a little bit better, because I do love how vivid it is and I really want to take advantage of that to make more sort of colourful and exciting illustrations as well. But I think I have spent enough time on that little house today, and yeah, we'll put that down as the first attempt, and I can look back over it in a couple years time and laugh at how bad it looked. If you have watched through to this part of the video and you haven't managed to just click off because it's just cringingly bad, then thank you so much. You have witnessed my first attempt at gouache. If you happen to use gouache a lot more than what I have, which is like literally if you've used it for longer than a day, please feel free to give me some tips and tricks, because that would be much appreciated. And in the meantime, I'll do some research myself and try and get my head around this new medium. I'll see you next time. Bye.